Good afternoon, everyone. We are from the Achievers International School 10th grade afternoon class. Our topic for today's presentation is territorial disputes. Territorial disputes can become a spark for war and conflict in many countries. Today, we will find out why this begins and what it entails. This presentation is divided into 4 sections. What is territorial disputes, what causes territorial disputes, the effects of territorial disputes, and the settlement of territorial disputes with some real-life cases.
What is territorial dispute? Territorial dispute is a disagreement about who controls a particular territory which run by politics, welfare, and state. We know a famous incident which is also known as Indo-Pakistani War, which happened in 1947 because both India and Pakistan claimed the former independent princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. So in simple terms, a territorial dispute is a disagreement between 2 or more states about which state exercises sovereignty over a certain part of territory. What causes territorial dispute? A state's attempt to conquest territory belonging to another state causes territorial disputes. Now, there are physical and concrete resources like land, landmarks, river, etc. And if you have to talk about the physical and concrete resources, we can now talk about the natural resources, like China exploiting natural resources from many different countries, and including West Philippine Sea, like minerals, fossil fuels, agricultural commodities, and timber.
So, the effects of territorial disputes. We all know that territorial disputes affect our lives, but how? So, territorial disputes frequently result in diplomatic, economic, and military tension between 2 or more states. So, it will affect the citizens and the people in that country, and it will also affect the trade between countries. And we find that border disputes have a significant negative effect on trade between disputing parties, but actors engaged in the trade are able to offset foregone trade.
Now we'll move to the settlement of territorial disputes. When it comes to the settlement of territorial disputes, various methods are employed to achieve peaceful resolution and avoid conflicts. There are 5 most basic conflict prevention mechanisms, which are negotiation, litigation, arbitration, mediation, and shelving dispute strategy. There are also various obstacles and challenges to the successful settlement of territorial disputes and resource management in cross-border areas. Some can be handled very easily with the methodological tools that are pretty standard, while others can never be easily addressed. These are the real-life cases on boundary and territorial disputes that are submitted to the ICJ, International Court of Justice, from 1947 to 2016. Lastly, one main thing we need to know before we end is that there are more than 150 ongoing territorial disputes in the world, even right now.
Our topic for today's presentation was about territorial disputes definition, causes, effects, and settlements. Now we can define what territorial disputes are and where it comes from and where it goes to. This is our class. I am Byul Kim, and I was in charge of research and the presentation for introduction and conclusion. This is Chani Go, who was in charge of section 1 and 2. This is Govind Krishna, who was in charge of section 3. This is Ellie Chung, who was in charge of section 4 and some real-life cases. Thank you for listening. This was a presentation of the Achievers International School 10th grade afternoon class. We hope you enjoyed.